Hey everyone, Sabrina here, back with part 3 of Staging 101 with our amazing friend, Miss Shawnissy. We're gonna have Shawnissy walk us through on how to edit. We're gonna start with the large piece of the big ombre dresser. She's gonna take us through her steps for editing that piece, and then she's gonna take us over into the steps of editing the smalls. Now, while they're kind of similar in editing styles, a little bit different because each one has a challenge. Whether it's a lighting, whether it's a shadow, whether it's a color, trying to get the white balance correct. Those are things that Shawnissy is gonna walk you through, depending. We actually have not even really looked at the pictures that we took.
Nope, not yet.
So you guys will get to see them first along with her, and she'll kind of just walk you through the steps of what she would do if she was sitting in her living room at home and getting ready to stage and get one of her pieces up. So why don't you take it from there?
Okay, so first thing I do is I go into my phone's photos and I go and choose one of the photos I took that aren't crooked, looks pretty good straight on, and bring it and I edit. So you're gonna go in your edit mode, you're going to just crop what you need out. So right here we've got a plugin, so I'm just gonna move it over, and you wanna make sure that the balance is even on both sides. So you're just gonna move that over a little bit. You got enough floor room in front, but not too much, and there you go. So that's it. So you're gonna go done and save it. That's the only thing you're gonna use in your phone editing. I find it's just the best for cropping. So then we'll go back home, and we're gonna open it up in Facetune. Facetune is a great app for lightening things without washing your pictures out. So you can go choose the camera app here in the corner. You're going to open a photo and
All photos.
all photos. Okay, you're gonna find the one that you cropped, which I believe is this one. There we go. Okay, and the only thing I ever use in this one is actually whiten. So the whiten tool, you just literally go over it with your finger. It's a little more sensitive than mine. And you're just gonna whiten all of the walls, anything you want a little bit more brighter white. And it looks weird, you're just sitting there rubbing your finger on your screen. So, and if you go over the areas that you don't want lightened, it's super easy to fix with this. You just zoom in, and I'll show you that because I went over some of my flowers. I took the colors out of there by mistake. You're going to click the eraser. You're going to just pinch, zoom in, and you're just going to go over with the eraser, and it brings the color right back. And that, and yeah, it's all about rubbing the color back on. And bring the greens back. Bring color back in there. Just gonna go around your piece. Make sure you didn't take any color where you don't, and that's it. Super simple. So you're gonna hit the check mark, that's saved image. You're gonna hit the camera again, and yours is a little different than mine. Oh, you hit the up arrow one. And you're gonna save to your camera roll. Hit OK. And then you'll go back home, and then you're gonna go into Lightroom. Now Lightroom, you can actually individually choose colors that you want. So you're gonna go here, you're gonna add the plus. You're gonna see your newest edited photo right on the top, and you're gonna go from there. So what I like to do is first I like to go into the light option. I like to change the exposure just a little bit to get a little bit more light in there. You can play around with the contrast. You can play around with the highlights. Shadows, you can turn them down, you can turn them up. Whites and blacks, you can make your whites brighter, your blacks darker, depending on the kind of look you're going for. And then my favorite is the color. So I find sometimes white photos look a little too white, so I actually turn the temperature down just a little bit towards the blue side than the red side. Just makes it a little bit more visually appealing for some people, and it's not as like bright on the eyeballs. Then I like to go into, there's this little button in the color, it's called Mix. And this is where you can actually individually choose colors to brighten. So if you want your green, if your green plant's looking a little less green than you want, you can actually just brighten it up with the hues, the saturation, and the luminance. So you can do that. You can change your pinks and your flowers to be a little brighter, a little whiter, and then there you have it. Pretty simple. Yay! And like if you did take a picture that's out of focus, they actually have, done on that, you'll actually have a detail where you can sharpen your image. You can do it by radius, detail, and they also have like a noise reduction, which I sometimes use if it's just a little
busy, yeah. Noisy is what they call it. But
yeah, noisy, and it makes the picture look a little crisper, a little cleaner, and then that's it. Then all you're gonna do is slap on your logo and make sure that's in a place where it can't be easily cropped out. Because there's a lot of people who like to easily crop them out.
That's true.
And that's it for the bigs. And then for the smalls, depending on the smalls, this one is, the one we did has a designed background. If you're doing it on a white one, I do go into Facetune and I'll do the whitening process again. But because we're on a nice background, I don't have to do that.
Okay.
So I can just go to the main screen, go back to my photos, choose one of the smalls, and you're gonna do your cropping again. So edit, I'm gonna crop. And you're just gonna bring in your sides. Make sure you're not getting any of your extra flooring. And just make sure you're even sides, top, bottom, and then done. And then you'll go back here, go to your Lightroom, click on the image, and you're just gonna edit it. So you'll, play with the lighting. And this is all, playing for the look you want. You can, go darker if you like more of a darker photo. I like bright photos because they stand out more.
And studies have shown that photos with a lot of white space is what they call it, are more visually appealing and usually stand out. So if you're on Pinterest, think about the photos that are eye appealing to you. They're usually photos with 60% or more white in them. And it's kind of weird. So think about a furniture magazine. I know HGTV magazine and some of those magazines, they always have white surfaces with pops of hot pinks or hot bright oranges or whatnot, because white is what sells when it comes to visually appealing. It's what stands out. If everything is blue and dark and gray, it doesn't necessarily catch the eye. The eye is drawn to white. Exactly. White is just something that the eye is naturally drawn to. Even if you love bright colors, your eye is naturally drawn to white, especially in photographs. So try to keep about, depending on, it's harder with the larger items, but the smalls, try to keep at least a 50% balance of a light color and a dark color. So you really, the more white you have, the more visually appealing. I don't know if you guys remember the photo that Shawnissy did with the popsicles.
The popsicle sign, yeah.
A lot of white going on so that you could get those colors to really the eye can see the whites from the primary colors and how it was visually stimulating to us because of the white. Without the white, if she had a black background on that, it may not have been, it would have been a different,
it wouldn't have popped. It wouldn't have popped,
exactly. It wouldn't have been the same type of reaction with the photograph. So keep that in mind when you're stationing your items. Whether or not your style is that, it's not always about you, it's about what your customers see white sells.
And it sells.
And talk to Apple about that. All of Apple's products were white when they first came out.
In their stores.
Yes, and so they've always been those light colors. Now, obviously, over the years, they ventured out into different colors, but their brand, everything about their brand is white because that is what is visually appealing, especially in the design world. Keep that in mind.
Mm-hmm. So like I said, in the color mix, you can bring up those greens, and this is where you can really make your pictures pop with the colors. So I mean, your flat lay is, you know, your Where's Waldo, but it's really Where's Waldo, I spy. And like, you just have fun with it. You can play with the colors. You can, you know, move them around to, you know, something that is going to really stand out, because what you want is to stand out from everybody else. You don't want to have the same pictures as everyone else. And right now, flat lays are huge. People love flat lays because they look pretty, and we want
It's
pretty.
a great way to display signs or advertise
And
signage,
easy.
and it is very, very easy to do this versus trying to position it right, and then I have a shadow over here and I have this over here. A flat lay is a much easier way to photograph signs, especially for classes, than I'm trying to find the perfect spot on the wall to hang it on and taking a picture from a very weird, odd angle. This here is something, involve your kids and your grandkids in it. Like, go gather up stuff around the house, have fun with them, spread them out on the floor. I mean, this was a pretty common layout for us when we had, when we were teaching as well. Like, stuff was always everywhere. If getting down on the floor is kind of hard for you, there's nothing saying you can't do it on top of a table. And you know, you just want to make sure you can reach up high above to take the photo, or even use a small step stool to get up a little bit higher if you have a hard time getting down on the floor. I'm getting old and getting down on the floor. A few minutes ago, I'm laying down like, oh my God, my back is killing me. And she's like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, I'm old. But anyway, so just a couple of tips to try to make it easier for you guys when we're down low filming these. But really make these colors pop. There's a lot of white here, but you can see the blues and the greens on in the photo there, and really like make those pop.
Yeah, and I mean, you don't have to use these types of flat lays. Like with the popsicle sign that Serena was talking about earlier, I actually just used a sheet of plywood, and then I used the face whitening app, and I whitened that plywood so it looks like a white background. It's not white background; it's plywood.
Right.
But you know, when you crop and edit,
the back of wrapping paper. It is white, guys. Like, how easy is that? It's wrapping paper from, you know, the card store or wherever, and you can literally just use the back of this to photograph your signs on.
especially if you have a bigger sign.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
perfect.
Especially if you have bigger signs, you're going to need more space to do that. At that point, you might need a ladder to get up onto if you shoot them on the ground. If they're real big, you may need to be up on a ladder to shoot down on them. Use caution with that.
Yeah, because that popsicle sign was 2 feet by 1 foot.
Yeah, it's good size.
Yeah, it's a big size.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, just some tips. So make these what little colors in this, really make them pop, because when you get these images up on Instagram or up on Pinterest, even up in your stores, your blogs, whatever it is that you're using them on, advertising, Facebook advertising, Google advertising, whatever it is that you're using, people are visual. That's what sells.
And you know what's funny is my flat lay signs actually have more likes and comments and shares on both Facebook and Instagram than I ever had putting them on a wall or on a piece of furniture.
Yep, absolutely.
They're fun.
Yeah,
people like it.
Absolutely.
And that's it.
That's it, guys. That's it. And then you upload them to your social media of your choice. Try to take note of getting them loaded into Pinterest. I know you guys are so fearful of Pinterest. Don't be fearful of it. It is the most amazing. Shawnissy is so fearful of Pinterest. I'm getting her there though. But it is one of the most amazing search engines available to you that you control. Google doesn't control Pinterest, you do. And driving traffic back to your store through Pinterest and through images like this is key to your business. So anyways, and if you're just having fun and you just want to teach classes or you just want to sell stuff on Marketplace, photos sell. And that's what it comes down to. I hope you guys have enjoyed this quick tutorial, Staging 101, from smalls to bigs to easy editing on photos. Don't get crazy with it, and keep your stuff as real looking as possible.
Definitely.
There is a fine line between too much editing and too much saturation of colors that no longer make them visually appealing to your customers.
Yes.
Remember, what you like isn't always what your customer likes. So keep that in mind. I hope you guys have an amazing day, and we will see you all soon. Take care.